Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nerissa Malloy, and today we are talking about our topic for today is business efficiency Q&A with Nerissa Malloy, your business consultant. So hold tight with me. So I'm here today. My name is Nerissa Malloy, CEO of J&M Healthcare Solutions. I'm a business consultant with a background in healthcare and leadership, and most importantly, operations. How do you operate your business in more efficiency so that you can be more productive and profitable? So today I'm hosting a Q&A session. Some people submitted questions to me. But first, let's talk about this real quick. I have on scrubs. I did something exciting today. I went to a career day over here in Maryland, a middle school of age ranges. Well, they're sixth and seventh graders. So I had an amazing time. I showed up in my scrubs as a registered nurse, turned nurse leader, turned nurse entrepreneur. So that was my topic of the day. And so I came up with a great speech, told them about my story, my background, overcoming challenges, being doubted and overcoming those challenges as a teen mom, getting through school, some of the challenges with passing chemistry, like all the different things. And it was a great crowd, a great day. I had two sessions. And then I gave them a framework. I created a quick framework for them that they can utilize as they move forward. And why I'm sharing this is because it's something that you can take a look into also. And that's as far as being efficient in your business and how you lead. So the first thing was to learn. Three L's. I love mnemonics. So the first thing was the L. So L is learn. The L stood for learn. So the first thing is that you have to learn. In this stage where we are in business, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, you want to stay learning, you want to stay improving. Get mentors. I just read a post on LinkedIn where someone said for each level that they were in order for them to get to the next level, they had a great mentor or a coach, someone that can guide them. So you have to prioritize learning in order for you to continue to be successful. Learn, who do you need to partner with? Who do you need to consult with in order to get your operations together? What do you need to learn in order to build a better team, to be a better leader? And that goes into number two, which was lead. I talked about being an efficient leader, being a transformative leader. What does it take to recognize your weaknesses and know your strengths and how to hire for your weaknesses? So you have to learn who you are as a leader, how you can lead, and what are the tools that you need to lead better in your business and in your role. And the last part was leverage. And you would be surprised how the kids shared their different definitions of leverage. And I explained to them how they can use what they want to be as they grow up to apply in every different angle. So, how I went from nurse to nurse leader to entrepreneur, how you, as an artist or a soccer player or a musician, how you can use those things to follow that same format and just think a little bigger about your business, your goals, your visions, etc. And so leverage is key when it comes to business efficiency because you have to really look at the strengths of your team and you have to leverage those strengths, meaning you, as the CEO, as the business owner, as the leader, have to identify, yes, this person is great is in this particular thing. And how can I tap into that to make sure they do more of that? I can never forget in my role, there was one nurse that was, she was really dedicated to helping moms in lactation, breastfeeding education, all those amazing things. So anytime we had projects or the time came where it was breastfeeding month and preparing for our certification, I tapped into her. I said, hey, I want you to lead this initiative. I even created a role for her on the unit so that she can excel in that lane. So it's things like that as a leader is identifying those strengths, tapping into them and helping that individual to flourish in their role because ultimately if you let them lead and innovate, they can inspire and do so many things in your company that you wouldn't have to do as the leader. And again, you're leveraging the strengths of the team. So those are three ways that you can be efficient in business. And when I was driving home, I thought about it. I'm like, listen, I know I use this for the middle schoolers, but this will be a great tool, a great framework for others if they want to have business efficiency and success and how they lead and guide their business and their teams and their departments to tap into learning, leading, and leveraging. Once you optimize those three things, you can definitely start applying tools to become more efficient and productive in business. So why is efficiency important? Efficiency is super important because when you have a lot of people just laying around doing a lot of things and it's not productive, you're not seeing the fruit, you're not seeing the results, or your clients are unhappy, your patients are unhappy, patient wait times are out the roof, overtime is seeping through, you're hemorrhaging money. That's what happens. You start to lose money in your operations and lose time. And then it feels like that you're constantly spinning your wheels because you're doing more, but you're seeing less output, seeing less results. And the key is to work smarter and not harder. The key is to work leaner and still have the productivity, the output. So it's doing more with less. And when I say with less, I don't mean bare bones. I mean it's really identifying who are the right people for the right roles and making sure that they execute. So being efficient is a way that you can protect your revenue and protect your resources. Are you wasting paper? For example, I'll never forget, I was in an office actually, and every time you printed, 3 extra additional papers came out. Sometimes people will save it, sometimes they'll take it and throw it away. Can you imagine how much money you are wasting on paper? And you don't think about that, but when you look at that over a period of time, over a year, when you're looking at your budget, that can equate to any type of office equipment. It can equate to a bonus. This money being thrown out. And so I'm hosting a workshop on June 26th. Make sure that I'm going to drop the link. I should have been prepared with it, but I wanted to come in and do Q&A. But I'm hosting this workshop June 26th at 1 p.m. And we're going to talk about eliminating waste in your business, tools that you can use to simplify, eliminate waste, and be more productive. I'm going to drop the link for you, but make sure you register, save your time. We're going to talk about waste walks. This was a profound thing that I learned during my lean time, and it identified so many areas where you can reduce waste, and you'll be surprised. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that exercise and how you could apply it into your business to identify any areas where you can eliminate waste that therefore will save you more time and save you more money from throwing out the door from wasting too much time. So that's what we're talking about. Make sure you register for that class. It's just $47. So like a lunch and learn workshop. You'll have time for Q&A. You'll also get your free download of your waste walk so you can take it into your establishment. And the great thing about it is when you conduct this is something that you can therefore bring to your team to say, hey, I noticed these are some inefficiencies that we can fix that can make sure that your job is a little bit more smoother. We can remove some of these bottlenecks so that you can be more productive. So I'm going to drop the link for that in the comments. Make sure you register June 26th, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So let's go to these questions. You guys ready for some questions? I got 3 questions. Let me pull them up. Here's question number 1. As a clinic owner, I've noticed that patient wait times have increased significantly, affecting our service quality and patient satisfaction. What strategies can I implement to streamline our processes and just to reduce waste times? Okay, so first things first, you have to get to the bottom. And it's funny, it's amazing that I just talk about this waste walk, but you have to really identify. First thing I'm going to say, honestly, you need to bring me on board so I can see what it is that you're doing, because a lot of times when you're in it, you can't see it. So you're so used to this process, this workflow of how you do things, so you don't recognize where some things that you could eliminate, whether there's some redundancy, there's overlap, which is definitely eating up your time, because you want to be more efficient. And the last thing you want is tons of Google reviews saying the wait time was so long. My appointment was 2:00 and I didn't leave there till 6:00. And I've seen it. I've seen some of those reviews on some of those practices. So number 1, kudos for you for wanting to really get to the root of the problem. But second thing I want you to do is also, you have to think about what is the process. You have to look at what the process is. Walk through a day in a life of a patient. If you have to schedule an appointment, what does that look like for you? You may have to call your own practice, as we call it, secret shoppers, and see what the process is to get an appointment. Have somebody walk through and share with you what that process is. Then you need to look at internally, as far as the back end, are you still on paper? Are there some systems that you're using that don't talk to each other? Are there some things that can't move forward unless someone else intervenes? So you have to look at what are the workflows that you have and identify what are the gaps and the bottlenecks. Can something work independently? Are there some systems and tools and automations, EMRs, that you need to really put in place so that it can streamline things? Because systems can cause a bottleneck, especially if they don't talk to each other. People can cause a bottleneck, especially if they don't communicate with each other. So there could be many different factors that can contribute to that delay. Are you realistic with your scheduling? Are you scheduling people every 15 minutes, but you know honestly that it's a 45-minute process, like 45 minutes when they're sitting in the room with you? Never mind registration, checking them in, checking their blood pressure, those type of things, and then getting into the room and then changing, and then the things that need to be done after if you really need some follow-up or they have to get paperwork. So you have to look at all the different processes, all the different workflows, walk yourself through it, identify where the key pieces that really extends the wait time. Maybe someone is out the office or someone's out to lunch and they have to wait for that person to come back in order to initiate this step. Like things like that are definitely contributors to long wait times and terrible patient satisfaction scores. So, and reviews, poor reviews. So I would say the first thing you need to do is to walk yourself through that process and see where is it that you can identify some different bottlenecks, as we call it, some things that's stopping the flow, and identify those and eliminate those. And the best person to ask is your team. They can identify, they'll tell you in a heartbeat, this here does not work. I'm doing this, she's doing this, we're overlapping, or this is not working. Your team can clearly identify some ideas. So trust them. They're in the front, they're on the front line, so they can see where there's some things that need to be removed, that doesn't work anymore, the process doesn't work. And the other thing is outdated processes. If your company, excuse me, if your company is growing, you're seeing more patients, you're doing more, but you haven't updated that workflow, excuse me, that is a huge contributor to, faulty processes, long wait times, all those things, inefficiency, overtime, all those things. Is your staff, are they checking charts and insurances beforehand, or are they doing it the day of? Like there's so many different factors that to come into that. That's why having a consultant on board that can also assist you in looking at everything and can help you pinpoint some ideas to cut down the process it takes to check in patients, to see patients, and therefore their wait times. But you definitely have to be realistic with how long does it take when they walk in that door, get into your room, and get out. And you really have to make sure that you're adjusting your appointment times appropriately. So that's a good question. Hope that helped. If you are a practice owner and you're experiencing that, please share that in the chat. If you have any questions, share it in the chat. I'm going to double back also to answer some of those questions as well. Or you can send a message if you'd love to. I have another question here. I have a company with multiple departments and we've been struggling with communication breakdowns. So this has been leading to a lot of different errors, delays. Can you share some effective methods to help us to improve our interdepartmental communication and collaboration? This is a biggie. This is a biggie. First of all, let me say congratulations to you for, of course, running the departments and understanding and knowing that it requires a lot to ensure that everyone's on one page, right? That's number one. So the first thing you have to do is to ensure that they are on one page, because everyone can operate in silos within an organization. And I'll never forget an experience that I had too. I used to run departments, but all the departments connected, meaning, for example, the patient walks through the door, they start in this department, they end up in this department, and sometimes the babies will end up in the NICU, mother, baby, maternity, maternal child. That's my background, that's my love. So when patients come in to deliver, they're in L&D, labor and delivery, they deliver, they go to postpartum, and if the baby has some issues, the baby ends up in NICU. So do you think these three departments need to communicate effectively now that they have patients all over? Absolutely. So the same thing for your department, but the first thing that we had to do when I walked in those doors is to let them know we are all one department. Yes, I understand it's different, but ultimately we are one unit. So you have to come together as the CEO, as the leader to say, listen, I understand we're different departments, your marketing, your finance, your clinical, whatever that is, but I need us to understand that we are all one. Bring them on one page, one mission, one vision, so that anything that you do is for the betterment of this entire company, this entire entity, and this entire organization. Bring them all on one page, number one. That way they can start to own it. Secondly, look at what are the key roles and that each department has, and then think about who are the leaders in the department. Start with your leadership. How can the leaders help to bridge some gaps? Do they need to huddle every morning? Do they need to have some type of email communication? Are they on Slack? What do you have in place for your leaders to huddle, to get together so that they could know what's going on throughout the departments? And if there are teams in the departments as well, the leaders are responsible for drilling that down also to the team to say, hey, here's some information. This is what this department needs. This is how we need to communicate. If you have issues, bring it up to me. Let me communicate with that department lead. But we all have to work together on one accord for one mission. So again, start with your leadership team. Have your leadership go to those departments, other members of the team, to identify what are some of the challenges, what are some of the issues. Again, you'll be surprised. The frontline people know a lot. Have lots of communication with your team members, not your leaders, your team members. They will share so much information. That's what I enjoyed so much. Those conversations, I learned so much things that I wasn't supposed to know, things that I had to divulge, but I couldn't because I built that relationship. But I'm telling you, as a CEO, having conversations with the team members are crucial. It's going to definitely expose some things that, wow, you can take back, and ideas. Believe me, they have brilliant ideas. So have conversations with the team members, have conversations with your leaders so that they can communicate amongst departments, and then have everyone to come together to be under one mission, one vision. Make sure you communicate with them. That's so important. Let's see if we have time for one more question. Let me go to that question. I hope that brought value to you. Drop a chat or drop a comment in the chat if you have any questions, anything you want to share, anything stood out for you. Make sure you share that below. As the owner of a healthcare staffing agency, I face some challenges in matching the right candidates to the right job openings efficiently. What steps can I take to improve our recruitment process and ensure a better fit for both clients and candidates? Ooh, that's a very good question. So, one thing that I love to do, and I encourage any person that's in any type of recruitment, hiring, anything in that space, I love those different assessments, whether it's the Enneagram. There's one new that I just found out about, Bank, which is great. Strength Finders is my favorite one. I love Strength Finders. But I think having people take those different assessments can give you a great understanding of their character, their needs, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and then you can align it with the job, or even make sure you have that for the person that you're hiring for. So all the leaders, for example, if you have all your leaders take this assessment, then you can identify, okay, these are the strengths. Now the leaders need to know when they're hiring someone, they need to hire someone that is strong in some of their weaknesses and also have strengths to optimize what the leader has. I hope that makes sense. Let me say that differently. So as a leader, for me, I know that I'm a visionary, that I can see things, I see big, I can share vision, help people think bigger about their thoughts, their dreams. I'm a visionary, and I need people that execute. So I'm not going to hire another visionary, because what's going to happen is we're both going to be in big la la land and nobody's bringing it to fruition. So I need to make sure that when I hire certain people on the team, that they are executors, that they're like, okay, I see a vision, let's run with it. Boom. Because that way, if she compliments me, she has hers, he or she has their skills, whether it's an organization, execution, you name it. But for me as a visionary and a strategist, we're going to work together and we're going to do a lot because we complement each other. So when you know what your leaders are, and then now that you're hiring for certain roles and you have your candidates also take these assessments, then you can kind of use that as a tool to see if they're going to be a great match with the leader. So that's one thing that I found effective, and I think is a great tool. Whichever one you adapt, of course, there's so many out there. You can vet them out and see which one works best. But I think that's a good start to help you identifying and making sure that the right candidate is a great fit for the role. So that's it for today. I hope that brought you some great nuggets, some great tools. I'm going to do this at least once a month. Drop a comment in the chat if you feel like this is beneficial and you want to learn some more. But again, make sure that you register for the workshop, Business Efficiency Workshop, how to simplify your business. I am going to drop it here, not simplify it. You're going to simplify your business, but we're going to talk about the different tools that you need to implement. We're going to talk about that waste walk so that you can identify any waste and efficiencies, things of that nature, because again, you want to be more productive and profitable. So that's June 26th, 1 p.m. We'll be virtual via Zoom. Make sure you register. The class is just $47. But again, you're going to walk away with that waste walk so you can take it back with your team and implement it, of course, and identify what areas that you can improve as far as your business, especially if you're in expansion mode. You don't want to take some of those outdated processes into your next, right? So that's that. Again, for those of you who don't know, I'm Nerissa Malloy, business strategist. I work with healthcare entities and entrepreneurs to work better. We work on your people, your processes, and your profits for sure. Identifying the simple tools and ways that you can simplify and optimize your business so that you can protect and grow your revenue. So I hope this brought you value. Share this, tag somebody, and I'll see you next time. It's been great. Take care.